last night we kicked off cohort 46 in Acquisition Lab, and one of the main questions from one of the new members was, I did one acquisition and I just paid cash for it because I couldn't understand, what my risk tolerance was to take on debt. And this is a pretty common question in terms of what size business should I buy, but more importantly, how much debt should I be comfortable taking on, in this business model. And in this video, we're going to try to unpack ways to think about what your risk tolerance is. My name is Walker Diable. I am the Wall Street Journal bestselling author of Buy Then Build and creator of Acquisition Lab. So it's one of these things where I believe that fun in your life is dependent on a little bit of risk being there, okay? And let me kind of prove it to you. A lot of people that, end up joining the lab are, a lot of us come from corporate. A lot of us have been in corporate and sort of done that to whatever level. And then we kind of realize that, even if we're like making a bunch of money in those vehicles, it's not actually like the most engaged life, right? Like we're not necessarily like the protagonist, of our own movie or whatever. Like in every great movie, the stakes are high. There's adventure, all these sorts of things. And real life doesn't look like, Indiana Jones or Star Wars, right? I'm in North Carolina with my family, and yesterday we had to sign waivers to go on this roller coaster that said, hey, just so you know, you might die, okay? And, today we're going on a zip line, and we just signed waivers this morning. They're like, just so you know, you might die. You're waiving your right to dying, right? And the thing is that when we go on these sorts of, rides or whatnot, the reason that they're so fun, the reason that they're so exhilarating is because it feels risky. But at the end of the day, we know that we're safe, right? We've got the right infrastructure in place in order to know that, the odds of the zip line breaking or, the roller coaster actually going off the rails is extremely, extremely small, okay? To the point that like when we get on an airplane, we don't have the same sort of rush. You know what I'm saying? It's there's no endorphins in that sort of environment. Well, maybe for some. But the point is like you need a little bit of that to feel fun, to have engagement in your life, in your work, okay? And so, when we think about buying businesses, I think that, whenever, look, when you're in your comfort zone, okay, there's no growth that actually happens. You have to be outside of your comfort zone. You have to be a little uncomfortable, okay, in order to grow. But too much outside your comfort zone, that's where overwhelm occurs. And so if you apply this to thinking about the right level of debt, you might say to yourself, okay, well, a little bit of debt I'm comfortable with, a lot of debt I'm not comfortable with. But what dictates that comfort zone is your understanding and your fluency in the business model that is business acquisitions, okay? So if you understand, the stability of the business that you're buying, if you understand that the stability actually comes from the growth that you're going to be able to provide, or, depending on where it is in the AE matrix, if that opportunity is, an eternally profitable business or something that you can bring value to, ultimately the stability and comfort level is going to reside in the business's ability to comfortably, pay off those principal and interest payments, okay? So as you're going to work, okay, and as you're doing your active investing and active business managing, a lot of people want to go for, higher debt, and some people want to go for less debt. For example, my wife wanted to buy a food blog, and I found one that was going to cost $2 to $2.5 million. I told her she was going to sign a personal guarantee for, 90% of the purchase price. We were going to shell out, a few $100,000 for this business, and she said no. She said, I want to buy something small where I can just pay cash outright, and Walker, you go do, all of these big things, right? And so now she's only enjoying the upside potential of the business, and she's sort of skipping the equity buildup component and the cash flow that comes with going with bigger acquisitions, right? I think that when you look at traditional search fund investors, what they always say is, look, go find the best, strongest business you possibly can and be prepared to pay a lot for it, okay? Why? Because the stability, the confidence comes in understanding of the business model, and the stability comes in the ability of the business's cash flows in order to pay that debt. And that's why they're willing to pay more and take on more debt for businesses that they like, that have the stronger attributes for being able to have that stability, rather than just going out and like trying to, get a bargain deal. Okay. Listen, we create the Acquisition Lab to help people who are looking to buy businesses in the next 1 to 24 months. We've got a truly vetted community where we're closing. Our members are closing about over $100 million in acquisitions every single year. We've exceeded 750 members. We've got 14 advisors on staff. We've got tools, resources, obviously education, and we'll see you on the inside. Check us out at acquisitionlab.com.